Testing order.
All right. Okay.
Testing.
What was it?
Testing, testing.
Tan. You been to the beach already?
Yep.
Have you? Good for you.
All right, good
I'm
evening,
jealous.
everybody. It's my pleasure to call the June 9th, 2025 council work session to order at 5:04. And, what's going to say this morning?
Something like that. All right, Mr. Hensley,
Here.
Mr. Dijak,
Present.
Ms. Pennell. Present. Ms. Estes. Mr. Sager,
Here.
Ms. Matthias is absent, and Mayor Lee.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So our work session, item for discussion is the, career development plan for the,
He may be a little late, but he had an emergency with his daughter.
But in the meantime, are there discussions?
Hey, Mr. Mayor, would it be a perfect as well, we're waiting for this to be found out. Before, would you mind just giving us a recap of where we left off with the CDP discussion for the last work session?
Oh, let's.
If there's any-
Sure.
I know,
I wasn't,
I think I'm doing that for all of our.
well, I mean, the CDP came about, under Bob Holton's tenure, I guess, as an interim manager. It was never officially approved by council. So that's something that I wanted to bring forward and make sure it was approved. There seemed to be some confusion with all of that. So that's why it's here. At the last meeting, it was discussed, since at the Personnel Committee. They resolved, language and different items within the plan, but the narrative, some changes there to make it compliant or follow HR policies and things. Finance Committee reviewed it. The discussion there was primarily around the sustainability of the plan, other career development plans, potential, in particular public works, and the funding percentages that are outlined in the plan. Currently, the current budget that was approved at last month's meeting funds the plan as is, as it's in the plan now. However, discussions were possibly to adjust some of those percentages or whatever direction council wants to go in for that matter. I think the consensus has been that the career development plan is a good thing. It's a recruitment tool, it's a retention tool. And for the police department, it follows that kind of military track protocol type reward. So I don't think there's any big issue with the plan. I think it's just figuring out, I guess right now, the top priority would be the dollar concerns and sustainability. And in that, it was put into the plan that each year it would be reviewed just as COLA merit. It goes along with that. So it could be adjusted with the budget. It's part of the budget discussions. So that's, and if I forgot anything,
And just the whole. I appreciate it. With regard to.
good idea for you all to review it annually and approve it as part of the budget cycle.
That's part of it.
It just gives staff a little bit more direction on what you all want to do, us putting it into place.
The programs all the time.
Well,
For they wanted to think, but they want to come with 90 grand. Is there any quote that they have? It's all shut down and all sorts of stuff. We, I can't let, not their choice. Their choice.
We have that for, if they go to school.
Tuition.
Pay for it.
Just-
I mean,
The dollars will-
but I mean, we've never talked about doing it for this.
this is-
It's a great idea.
But I mean,
Yeah, and,
I did think
and to be fair, and so that we don't speak, with bad information, that's probably something.
I think.
Well, and
Chief,
I don't
it's
mind,
already-
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't mind taking that one. It's not in there as currently written.
What do you
That,
think,
that any
Brian?
portion, because
What
it's
Brian
just
said?
considered a increase based on the
There's
career
nothing to
development
pay
that they've
back, right?
done.
So
It's
there's
just
nothing in-
raises.
Nothing in there written right now, so, yeah, they don't have to.
There's no clawback clause as it's written
Okay.
today.
Yeah, just, and just if I may, yeah, Barry, and I think Ms. Hall and, Mr. Moore can confirm, but I think right, just confirming, this is again, CDP is for police only at this point. And that would be above the, 3%, up to 3% merit and the 3% standard COLA that all staff is approved for in the 2026 budget. So, and I guess the next question I had was regarding, I know there's some consideration at the moment on incorporating a CDP for other staff, other departments. I know Public Works, for instance, was, I guess, that was maybe underway. So I guess just a question on, as we consider this sort of holistically with, how does that factor into, other departments and then the existing, COLA and merit raises that are already authorized?
Well,
How
we
we can
already
kind
have it for them. Since they can take classes. Remember, we did that when we first got on, made sure that the office people had a.
Yeah, class, but I'm talking about for the
So
CDP
that
includes,
themselves,
yeah, but the CDP has the pay component too. So this is, so that, well, and that's what I'm kind of asking is where we've got so we've got three, up to 6% plus the CDP if they qualify. So how do we sustainably look at that and be fair and use it as a tool, but also be fair to, one, looking at the longevity of that cumulative impact. And then also, for other departments, and if we're looking at CDP, is it maybe beneficial to look and say, all right, the percentages outlined in this CDP, maybe that's, we shrink those so that it's a portion of the merit-based increase as well, but this could contribute towards that. If that makes sense. Because right now, everything's just on top of one another. So in other words, every staff member, just correct me if I'm wrong, but every staff member we're starting at 3% COLA. And then we're up to 3% again, based on performance and evaluations. And then for police only right now is then this CDP, which,
Right,
Yeah, we're-
based on where they're at in their CDP plan, they could get anywhere from, they're just at the beginning, to a 2%, 2.5%, up to a 5%.
Right.
And I want to say that there's two this year that are at the 5%, two at the 2.5.
That's what I remember,
Okay.
2 and 2.
Chris, so you sitting beside the chief, do you remember what he said about, new people coming in, that it wouldn't affect them for so many years? What, do y'all remember? I can't
Right,
remember.
they would have to get to that level in order to be They wouldn't just come in, they'd
Yeah.
have to get to that level within this department.
I thought he said, and we asked about that. He said, yeah, that they
If I'm
probably be here
remembering
a certain amount of
correctly.
years before it even started. I just can't remember how much
Well,
it was.
Well, I guess if they're in mid-stride in certain classes for the police department, if they complete them, then they still don't get credit to the following year.
Well, it's kind of based on, years they've been here, and different benchmarks that are outlined in the plan. I don't have a copy of it. in front of me. But I don't think coming in new, they're not gonna carry over anything from their other
Okay.
job.
Well, but what if, let's say they were in tactical training with another police force somewhere and they were halfway through it. They came here and finished it and got accreditation, wouldn't carry over to the, at the end of the year?
I'm not sure on that.
Okay.
I wouldn't think, but I'm not certain.
Okay. Well, as far as CDP for other departments, the water plant, how involved is it for the guys that run the water plant to get accreditation to be certified to run the plant? Is it long drawn out? forever?
That's,
I believe it's pretty extensive.
it's pretty extensive because you're dealing with water supply.
Yeah.
Water people are drinking, so you have to have certain years of experience, you have to have so many classes, and then you obtain a level 4, 3, 2, 1, I think. Your first level is 4 at the entry
Okay.
level, and we have 2 people or 1 or 2 people, probably 1 now, that are interested in pursuing that. We have Jennifer, who is a level 1, and class 1, and Lucas is class 2. But those are the only 2 we have. Now, the water, if there's a CDP in Public Works, it would be based on certain benchmarks of achievement, like gaining a CDL, a pesticide license, kind of obtaining that class certification for
Right.
different water levels. It would be based on those things. It'd be structured a little differently than the CDP for the PD. And that structure was part of the comp study. It was in there, so that would be the basis plan for public works. Am I remembering that correct?
Sounds right to me.
Okay.
So will the guys, say the guys over there in the shop, will opportunities be given to them to move up in pay grade if they put forth an effort, say, learn how to maintain
It's-
equipment and repair it, that's
it-
the thing.
It's kind of built into the job descriptions right now, but this would be formally adopting a CDP to say that.
Classes, like, set that up. She came out, I think. Is that our second?
Yeah, training benchmarks. So, and I guess maybe to that end, are we looking for, I mean, for the public works and potentially for administrative staff, is there? I guess we're looking at bringing something forward in the near future, at least for public works.
I would say within the next, FY26, I would see public works,
And then it'll be,
something being brought forward.
One, if not sooner, with the budget discussions for FY 27,
27.
Right.
since everything's already been like.
Yeah, I know, right? Before you,
Yeah.
don't tell Ms. Hall that.
the-
Yeah, I was gonna say, we gotta close this one out and. Yeah.
Anything coming up for public works or any other would be for fiscal year 27.
Okay,
is
yeah.
thinking. We're pretty much set for 26.
Yeah.
That budget's been approved.
So I guess that's kind of where I'm thinking of, looking at, if we're looking at all staff members and departments, is there a benefit to looking at kind of merging a CDP with the existing merit-based system? So that there's a track here, but there's also the evaluations that get factored in, and that way we're, not layering on top of layer, Because I think that's, looking here, if I'm not mistaken, right now we budgeted, for this current fiscal, or I'm sorry, for fiscal year 26, it's about to start next month. We budgeted, just shy of, 18,000, correct, for police only salary increases based on the CDP.
That's only for the CDP,
Only for the CDP, right, on top of,
on top of the COLA.
That's salaries, benefits, taxes, that's.
oh, the whole thing, yeah,
Right,
okay.
Yes, that's basically the cost of what that CDP increase would be to the
Okay.
town.
Okay, so and then if we look at that, and then in addition, we're looking at the projections that were put together, we're looking at $19,600 dollars for the following fiscal year FY 27. Again, that's just based on the CDP benchmarks that are anticipated. And another almost 13,000 the year after, so just looking at, and again, just trying to see how we can kind of merge those. And kind of blend that in, recognizing the achievement and recognizing the training, but also making sure we're tying that into just, a fair and sustainable track.
Well, the CDP also as retention, we're a small town, small force, as the chief has said, there's no opportunities to kind of grow, so this gives them opportunity to get training that we would benefit from, that we don't really have or need or would have to bring in, so this is over and above their regular training to keep up their police certification.
And for me, well, I'm here. My brain is a bit crazy because of what I'm thinking about. To tell them. Said maybe. Yes, there's that in the other departments, but on a different scale. So we got here two different conversations, but that would be a question about the authority. What about, like, it's all the police department. But for the staff, personnel, I think are you suggesting that better so small as we have? Because
Oh, let me, yeah, if I can clarify. Yeah, what I was may suggest is just thinking through that we have other departments that may have their own separate type of CDPs. Yeah, yeah. So this would be great. I mean, this is a great policy, great benchmarks, and I think if it's been thoroughly vetted from staff, personnel committee, chief. I'm comfortable with that. I'm sorry, I was just saying, but if you've got sort of, if you just think about it, just sort of in buckets, okay, we've got the bucket for CDP, merit and COLA. Is there a way where each department and staff would be aligned with their own CDP?
Sure.
But that's factored in where, it's maybe a hybrid of a CDP and a merit-based percentage. Something there, again, just trying to be sustainable here. And looking at this, we've talked about, we've got some, had to make some, does that make sense? I was just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause I'm just looking at just long-term, we've all talked about just trying to tighten the belt here and making sure we've got some hard choices ahead, future budgets and future capital projects too, but we also want to be respectful and encourage good staff and people.
Yeah, the goal is to get.
Yeah.
The rest of it, you gotta, right now we have to try to figure out how to convert it, bring it together to where it is very. If this certification, it does, and we gotta figure that out.
We give bonuses to the one things if the office people take the classes. We were supposed to do the same with them. This is all stuff Angela had set up already. It's just, you gotta follow through with it. She ended up blocking people from cross training and stopping people in the office from taking the classes that she needed. We just blocked, Willie's son wanted to cross train and learn the water plant. He was told he did, he left. So, I mean, we literally really do have a nice career development already for them because they got bonus money for everything they were taking. It's just you gotta let them take it, but it had to be relevant to bettering their job. And then, she kind of blocked some of that. So it kind of went to the wayside. So that's probably why he didn't know about it because nobody's been doing it. But sorry, we already did all this. I don't know if you remember.
There's nothing set up. to-
It was, I'll ask Susan where it was. I'll ask her where it was. Cause if you take your classes, we didn't okay going to college, but if you took classes that bettered you at your job, we paid for that. And we had started the thing. I don't know if they followed through with it, but yes, we did say that if you all did your classes and stuff, we would pay you bonus fees. I'll find out what month it was and get the minutes. it's been a
not in-
while.
It's not in the personnel handbook yet. There's nothing in stone in concrete
Yeah,
outlining that.
it just made,
Yeah, if you
I
follow
don't think
like
somebody
some
went to
deadline
follow
something
through
like
with it, but
that.
they're not here any longer.
There may have been discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Well,
Ralph
we've
just
okayed
said,
a couple things that we've not followed through and done.
that's what I was gonna ask, what Ralph just said about the merit, COLA, and then the, merit, and then the police department has their program. Does that merit and the police program merit all go in one big bunch, or does one, or does the advancement of the police department to get their merits to get raises cancel out the normal merit that is put in the budget? Is it not like a double pay? I mean, that's one question. It's like double stack on top. of it.
Stacked.
Yeah, it's stack on top of it, right? I think that's what you see it. I see, yeah.
That's why, that's where I'm area did videos, I mentioned it, that was kind of where I was getting at, maybe if we look at merging or making a hybrid, because right now it's 3%, up to 3% merit, and then CDP. And right now we've got staff, the rest of staff, non-PD would be 3% COLA given, up to 3%.
Merit.
That's it.
Right,
Correct.
yes. So if
So
you
you could
approve,
potentially have some police officers, if they're at the top tier, based on current numbers for this year, giving them 11%.
Yeah.
So just, it is on top.
But at that last tier that we just asked.
Yeah.
See, the
They
the
just-
CDP would
$2,000
eventually
raise.
expire after they
Okay.
get to a certain level. They're not eligible.
on top of it. They
Right,
just
yeah,
got
it's
double
not every
raise.
year,
Right.
but
Okay.
it would still, but it's still, that adjusts their base salary.
All six officers shouldn't be getting it every year. It
Right.
should be staggered. I
but,
think
but when they get to a certain
what the
point,
chief mentioned, it was kind of playing catch up.
It's back to.
so then they'll get to a certain point,
As bad.
their merit will be based just like the other departments.
Exactly.
Okay, I got you.
It would be, they would only be eligible for merit and COLA if those were given in the budget. They would cap out at a certain,
Yeah, the
I think we
papers,
have one or two that's out there now.
the papers he gave us had it all broke down.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't have it on me.
yeah, I've got,
I have it on
yeah,
my phone.
Chief gave us that
Okay.
because we just had a work session with this.
Yeah.
So it had it broke down as to how it was staggered and everything and
Right.
the total amounts. I just don't have it on. me.
and just looking, and that's what I was kind of referencing with those numbers, I'm like, yeah. I've got it on my, the hard copy printout here, but that's what I was looking at, right, some years, right, we're gonna have fewer, but then there's, one or two officers that could be eligible for increases the next 3 years consecutively. And so that's what we just have to keep that in mind too, and again, that's adjusting their base salary each time, it's not just a bonus. And I think that's where I'm just trying to look at the,
And that
Cumulative
goes
impact.
for every other, like Public Works, you're not gonna have everyone getting level 4 certification. There will only be one or two. We don't need everyone to be level 4 certified. So they, so there's some variables there as to the amount that would cost. And initiative of the employee, they have to want to do this. If they choose just to do their job and take the merit and COLA and not pursue, they're not eligible.
True. I agree with that.
So, yeah. No, sorry.
So,
Yeah, good.
so, yeah.
I mean, just thinking through it, you know, certainly be, you know, receptive to other input and, you know, from Brian and Krista and Chief, but you know, if this is our first CDP go round, okay? For 2026, and then as we heard from Ms. Hall and Mr. Bourne, that in 27, we may have other staff come into with their own CDP. This would be kind of the test, you know, do we sort of set this up knowing that, all right, we're going forward with that, that it is a hybrid, that, you know, whatever the percentages that are outlined in this CDP get maybe reduced or shrunk so that it's CDP percentage and a merit percentage merged together, and maybe it's up to, you know, 4% or 5% combined merit CDP or something like that. And again, I'm just spitballing numbers, like, they're just trying to think of it like that rather than 3% plus another up to 5%.
Are y'all gonna add the part where y'all brought up, checking what Krista said about doing it every year, looking back into it?
Yeah, yeah. I think that, right, that.
And actually, I believe, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Justin reworded it to say, okay,
Yeah.
to say that it will be per annual review.
All of the verbal, I guess, revisions in there, the narrative portion have been made. It's just the percentages that we're
Yeah.
kind of talking about.
That's fair. And, yeah.
So-
I mean,
So how does the police salary work? Are they on flat salary irregardless?
The police chief is salary,
Right,
All
the
of
rest of the officers are hourly.
okay. So we would just work Justin 60, 70 hours a week. So
he tells you.
he does anyway, I think.
I'll tell you, he's already doing it. Yeah, I was gonna say, we better watch it here.
We'll save money.
On that route, is his lieutenant salaried as well?
No. The only salaried people are myself, Krista, and Justin that are in the town's staff.
But, I've gone through broadbands, the hourlies, salaries. Like broadbands are sweet. They're sometimes more lucrative than salary, but I understand. Then they'll all be fighting for overtime. Especially events.
I think in a smaller town that needs to be. What might be salaried in a larger town isn't necessarily salaried in a smaller town because of the overlapping. Multiple responsibilities, shared responsibilities that everyone kind of. Jumps in and takes care of. You've got a few critical people salaried. And that's pretty standard, but I think all the others are kind of geared towards how the town works and what the town needs. Because if you take away those overtime opportunities, you might lose a few good people. It's not like, it's not,
Wow.
yes, it's not like overtime in my tenure here is abused. It's used very judiciously.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's not a lot of money in those budgets, but I think that's a very nice incentive tool.
So is the water plant looked after by someone 7 days a week? Is it, I assume there's a monitor on it, right?
they use the SCADA system, so they can control it from a phone or an
Oh.
iPad.
Okay.
But they do testing and do things, they do have to come in.
Okay.
Jennifer comes in or Luke has come in every day. On the
Okay.
weekends, weekdays to do testing or do whatever, so.
Okay.
That would be great where that level 4. If we had a level 4, you wouldn't be using your top salary employee to come in and take that sample. You could use a lower salary employee.
So that's somebody. During our meetings, like we love on that. There,
Yes,
and basically like I put the water in. I know how to spell water, I know how much score.
But there's, there's advantages to have, of course, you would send the one that's qualified, but is a lesser salary if that's possible.
Okay, never mind, never mind.
No. We were pursuing that with a previous employee that didn't work out, but I think we have some good ones now.
I mean, is there, this supposed to say, is there any consideration? I'm just curious if everyone kind of thinking maybe we need to evaluate this wholesale for the.
Just FYI, there is an item on the regular agenda for the CDP, but that's just if you come to some decision or determination here, that can just be passed over.
I appreciate that, yeah, and I would suggest, especially given what Justin update, and I would want to suppose if maybe just we consider reconvening at the.
I think that would be very wise.
Yeah.
Professional and courteous.
Yeah. Yeah, see if he gets here, I would want him to have to, yeah. But I guess maybe just for staff's benefit there, I'm just trying to think, I mean, are we thinking maybe in the intervening month, that's something that they can consider is coming up with that sort of hybrid approach? And again, this is sort of a test case, if you will, police department before, next year we roll it out with the other departments or that. Sorry.
I think it's.
Basically, all the department should align.
The percentage, I would say percentage wise, right, yeah.
Certainly be different.
Yeah, expectations are that.
Yeah. Okay.
When you look at staff, that's what I was saying, when you look at staff. It's time for. That's a different kind of trade.
Well, if you read what qualifies for redevelopment compact plan, there's lots of things that. All kinds of different specialties and areas that can concentrate in that benefit us, but in other departments, it's more of obtaining some sort of certification within like CDL. It's a little different.
That's
It is
for staying relevant.
Yeah, staying relevant, exactly.
Workers and as long as.
Yeah, only comment I was gonna make as far as particularly with our discussion with personnel committee is, one, just to confirm, we absolutely did talk about it being evaluated every year, for sure. And number two is that we did talk about, other departments having a similar plan, but we also noted that their plan for the police department is very distinct. It's going to be because there are qualifications and trainings that are not relatable to other personnel. And so I don't want us to think about, you were just going to kind of cookie cut, those kind of things. Yeah, I don't see that. at all. And it is very different, just like all professions are different and have the criteria. The police department is very different, not better or anything else, just different, right? So as we look at the other departments, I think we just want to have that department look at what is the best practice and what are the trainees and the lane that they're in, and they can create something to bring to the table. But I don't really want us to look at kind of merging because it's very different than the way I see it. Similarity things or whatever, and of course, budget aspects, but let everyone bring their expertise and their profession to bear when it comes to developing a CDP that they like to see.
Brings to mind, that was Susan's comments, it's that military
Exactly.
structure that sets it apart.
Right.
That kind of justifies that CDP for the police department.
Different tiers and things like that, because we did have the discussion, what about all the personnel? Is this gonna be something that's fair and those kind of things? And then we know that, but then Justin did say, remember that this is this particular profession that goes, that is again across the board, just like it would be in the military or any other healthcare or, other physical plant, those kind of things. And so I think we lean on that as well and let people develop and bring that to bear.
Yeah, because the police department, I mean, to me, they strap on a gun and that's a big deal.
It is. I'm not gonna the one.
You just can't compare the jobs at all. It has to be a separate entity. They risk their
Exactly.
lives every day.
Yes, I don't
They
want to
should be taken
downplay.
care of.
Yeah.
Right. Period. Hey, I gotta go outside. That's my dad.
Oh.
Sorry.
And with that in mind, like. Some of the other positions, I would also look at like the journeyman level. Different tiers within the job series. And then what is needed at each of those levels? Development to work very well.
Yeah, I agree, and it's something that is across the board, like if I'm the police officer, I could say this is a program here, but it's similar to the same language or a setup that's another county or county is using, because this is the field, and this is what we're looking at. That's what I say.
And when we get into it, we'll see that,
Chief is here.
we'll see that we can probably. Still take and borrow from other municipalities, of those size, or even from BML with their library. We'll take that.
That's right.
Welcome, sir. Hope you're all right.
We just said no.
We just tabled it all.
We didn't want to put you on the spot, so we kind of just said we can hold it until you actually have a chance to come back and answer your question, talk more about it.
That's okay. No,
Yeah.
That's, yeah,
Been there, done that. So
good perspective.
So with that, do we want to move forward? If he's ready, do we want to move forward? But we got some time.
I mean, we could do discussion. I was just still thinking, I think we need some time before we adopt anything tonight, I think that needs to be tabled, but, any questions?
May I'll ask the question. Something I brought up a minute ago, which we talked about, you weren't here. But the other departments have the COLA increase and merit increase. Your department is specialized. There's no doubt about it. So if the other departments get a COLA and a merit, basically for years here, but your officers get merits for years plus training, correct?
I don't say
Just to maintain their certification. Yeah, just certification. CDP is about the amount. That's basically special amount. Special answer. Are there, I have the CDP paper in front of me, back on a little bit of memory I got. For that, for those CDPs that they take, specialize in it, does it also go towards their certification or are they unique and separate? No, they're separate. So with like 2 years of certification. Yeah, 42 hours, 100 hours, 4 hours, digital 4 hours of de-escalation. And that's all up to now, getting rid of the hours. Certain things, but you still in the classification. But now that we can. But they look at adding training. So basically, the three certifications where you may not. So these really will be pension opportunity, protection to it that you could get. Yeah, this is always great, like. You got to go here. Here we call it doing the bench, right? So, and I will recognize authors on the page. I do. So. Right. Right.
But do we still need to, I think, hammer out a couple things maybe between now and the next meeting? I just. Yeah.
Are you looking at adjusting the tiers and percentages? Are you looking at revamping the whole plan? Are you looking at, I mean,
I think just the percentage, that's all I was suggesting was percentages, but.
it would just be the
Sam, we're only doing the police department right now. You keep asking. No.
Well, no,
There's
that's what I
no
mean,
plan
between
for the other
merit,
shit.
between
That's
merit and
next year.
CDP. Yeah, but this will be the starting point for future. Yes.
I broke it down for you later over the next 10 years. Instead of not everybody thinks the way they're integrated from years ago, like the general town years ago, integrated as 3 years of application. Each year to the next year. But if you look at I broke it down, everybody had their not the
That's what you sent me.
That's why I think we're probably at a different level. Exactly. I think it was FY 28. Yeah. Eligible, and everybody. And the year after, they're going to be hosted, right? But then it's 2018, nobody. So essentially, the way they develop it is pretty projected out here to come. Based on the way that
and if the full course is at tier 5, no one gets it anymore.
Yeah, you max out at tier 5, but we said. You can't retire.
For your stuff.
You've been here since for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's what we want. That's what we want. Retain, keep dangling the carrot. So.
But if you sit down for the 4 weeks, years of service. Okay. Greatest time for retention benefits is the person. That's what we see often. With their own, 5 or 6 years. That's what we or for their security, right? Making it more content. Sure. Well.
Make a difference. Yes. That's right. That's yeah, exactly. You got a warm room of yeah. And on behalf of the town too, I'd like to welcome you as part of the younger generation too, Chief. I don't want to put you in that upper tier. So. Wow. That's some good body cam footage there.
So,
Yeah. I think there's,
Conversation needs to be had before, so we'll leave the consideration for. all of them.
yeah, well,
I'm comfortable with what it is.
I'm fine as well for personnel
I-
review.
I think we should go ahead. and
I
get it
think
done.
we need a little.
We didn't have any problem with
We'll leave
percentages
it on
or
there.
the budget, everybody all big raises, so I don't think you should have a problem now.
Is-
They need to be taken care of.
We'll leave it on there.
And there could be further discussion down the road. Like it comes up every year during the budget discussion. So next year for FY 27, the CDP plan could be looked at and possibly years of service or percentages altered, but for this year, it's in the budget. You can approve what's there now, or you can take another option and
So what I put to do with that, approving for this year and, with the, but reviewing the percentages and the composition for future years.
I see it as a living document anyway, because Chief just told us there's changes coming. He's gonna have to review some
Yeah.
things. So.
okay, so that item will remain. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, any other questions or discussions? All right, just now for the Bruce Town Council work session.
And I had 5 minutes. I had 5
Gives us a whole 5 minutes.
Oh, five.
That got everybody really quiet. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Let's go.
Well,
Neither of us are like,
It's,
we didn't even notice they wouldn't sit down.
it's.
We will. Tag on it. Shame on you, Sam. You're gonna have to open your store an extra weekend now, just for punishment. Are you doing the sidewalk thing? Aren't you gonna be open that day? Tara asked me, she said she hadn't heard back from you, so. All right, but. I'll tell you.
We're coming to important business.
There you go.
The JD right behind you.
Yes,
With coffee.
he's making coffee. He's got his cup of coffee.
Don't you be nodding off over at JD.
That's what Rick did. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to call the 2025 meeting of the Dayton County Council to order at 6:09. I'd like to ask everyone to decide to the entrance for those that are interested in speaking of the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. Send it this way.
Certainly, Mr. Sager.
Here.
Ms. Matthias is absent. Mr. Hensley,
Here.
Ms. Pennell,
Present.
Mr. Dijak,
Present.
Ms. Estes, Mayor Lee.
Thank you very much. Let's go on into this. What do you think for-
To the flag United States of America, and the republic for which it stands, one
Come on. Molly.
Absolutely. We have a confirmation, but
Thank
first,
you.
I have Captain Jeremy Ramsey, future date and third, come on. Number 13, because he's got a rock and roll, so, welcome, sir.
Board of Resident Committee Commission is working with the field, so we introduce Captain David Ramsey, he's currently, captain in our first water station with the private, our county water rescue. Captain in our data station.
Please, yes.
Yeah.
Probably what he's trying to say. But that's all I really have as far as the update.
Thank you.
That's good.
Yes, it's not.
Maybe able to get you at the Rocktown history. I'll say, okay. Hmm.
And then you also got to get one, that has a little bit of green on it, but I don't sure you want to be an applicant that would get it. Which is outside of the.
Did y'all ask Cheryl? Cheryl, you got any info? She can't find.
Checking
Where was
We
it
can
one?
Find out all history.
the
of that.
National Register, I guess. Oh, yeah, downtown might have something.
And the Shiloh University has all the history on the third story of being. Yeah.
Lauren, I'll check on the registry document.
Yes. And Ms. Resnick, yeah, I was gonna say, you've got, the other thing I was gonna ask, I know it's gonna be 3-bay station. You give us a little insight into the equipment that'll be housed there. Great.
They are very sharp looking guys. One for the things, this should be very something.
Well, that's awesome.
They do look very sharp and will be a great representation here in town. That base station, there's been talk that they need power, but I really. I get excited about moving around, but it will be fully staffed with 5 people per shift. So we're gonna have 3 guys on the engine and 3 doing. We have a lieutenant for 2 shifts and then got 3 in there.
So is VDOT putting up traffic light of some sort?
That I do not.
Oh, okay.
All that's gonna get run was very excited.
Well,
To come in. Yeah, it's hard about this couple months.
Oh, we understand.
That's why we are sharing with them.
yeah, that's fantastic. And bring it back, yeah, exactly. I know, see if it would have, we start at 6 o'clock, no, no. It's okay. No, thank you, Ms. Resnick, yeah.
Thank you all. Please.
Very cool.
We're going a little bit out of order, but we do have next is a proclamation declaring the week of. They ain't coming here, are they? I'm gonna do that. Whereas pollinator species include birds, bats, and insects are significant components of natural heritage provided place of service to maintain the healthy, biodiverse, and resilient habitats and natural communities. Whereas pollinator structure includes building a vitality of natural ecosystems and natural resources, supporting agriculture, outdoor recreation, all contribute to sustainable economy and economic development. Whereas not only users, but citizens without wise and resource responsibility. Protection, plans, and policies. Whereas private landowners, planning and living pollinator species. Whereas the these things to be established. Now. All right, we'll get that next. The first item on the agenda, between 1 minutes, I need a motion to approve the minutes from our work session at Greenwood Town Meeting.
So
I think I heard Miss Estes. Jack? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes.
This is something that you do every year. The Virginia Code, is updated effective July 1, the General Assembly's session of the winter. These are traffic and criminal and water regulations provisions of the Virginia Code. By incorporating them into your local code, it gives your police department and town officials the ability to charge people under your local code if they're violating those laws, and you get a financial benefit from doing that if court fines are assessed. This year, there are some new provisions. Examples are, there's a new law against exhibition driving, which is like showboating and spinning your wheels, or street racing. There are laws related to autonomous vehicles and remotely operated vehicles. So those are all things that are going into effect and would be incorporated into the town code. There's an ordinance report in your packet, so I'm happy to answer any questions. So move.
Discussions? So, roll call.
All right, Ms. Pennell. Aye. Ms. Estes. Mr. Sager,
Aye.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Mr. Hensley,
All right.
Ms. Matthias. And I will also note for the record that Ms. Matthias entered at 6:19. Thank you. And Mayor Lee.
Second action item. Consideration of the As an official town plan, for those of God, you can stand to select a project. Consideration by the town council with the understanding that the implementation and funding of these projects and exposure to the capital improvement plan as appropriate shall be subject to future council approval.
So moved.
On the version for the-
Oh, that's-
as presented.
Thanks.
Mr. Madden,
Second. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
I'll say it now. Yeah, yeah, I stirred up the pot, so yes. Do you have any discussion?
Certainly. Ms. Estes,
No,
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Ms. Matthias, Mr. Sager,
Aye.
Mr. Hensley,
Aye.
Ms. Pennell,
Hi.
Mayor Lee.
Second.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Ms. Pennell,
Hi.
Mr. Sager,
Aye.
Mr. Hensley,
Aye.
Ms. Estes, Ms. Matthias, Mayor Lee.
Inside for the public comment portion of tonight's meeting, each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes. Now, I will be sure that others are equal. I encourage comments to be respectful as we all work together to determine if they issue an opportunity for private commentary and to seek solutions. I'll remind council this is not that this is an opportunity to get help with comment. But I'll say something on the period. And and I have a blank sheet. No comment on that? Oh, Mrs. Grant, don't leave us. Grant.
We got the whole east, crew out here. We got.
Yeah. Old groove. We're gonna be well on the staff report, starting with Mr. Gordon. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have recently attended, back last week, Thursday, Friday, the Small Towns Conference that was held in Farmville at Longwood University. Councilmember Hensley was there also. It was a good networking opportunity. All small towns in Virginia are going through the same issues, more or less, some more, some less than we have, but very similar issues they're dealing with. Revenue is a big one for everyone. But it was nice to be confirmed that we are not the only ones having those issues. And we, compared to others there, are in pretty good shape, right? So we're good. Also, the VLGMA conference is next week. That is the Virginia Local Government Management Association, and I am attending that also. A few upcoming dates. We have the summer concert, Dry River Band on June 21st. We have down the road, the National Night Out, August 5th at Sunset Park. Get that on your calendars. I did commute to Farmville, so I was able to make the Be Friends event. That was a very good event. The speaker was very interesting. Lots of good information on plants and pollinators and
and just her perspective on how, she approaches her own garden and that kind of philosophy. It's not a cookie cutter approach by no means. You can customize it as you like. We did submit a pre-application. This is a pre-application, and I think I put that in one of your updates for the State Economic and Infrastructure Development Grant, which is through the Southeast Crescent Regional Commission. This is for the non-construction portion. In other words, it's for the design engineering portion of the project. It requires a 50% match, which with the funds we have set aside and the CIP for design engineering could easily match that. I'm looking to leverage those funds. The pre-application requested for, I requested for half the cost, which was about $172,000. I don't know the ask or the invite to apply for the full application. Submit a full application should be forthcoming soon. I know their deadline is sometime in July. This will be a very competitive grant because their rating is based on kind of need. So the distressed communities are rated, given a little more priority. Rockingham County, Dayton are considered transitional, which means we kind of come next in line. And based on their awards last year, they gave, what was it, 67% of their grants to the distressed communities. So it will be very competitive, but we're looking to submit a full application if invited to apply. The Juneteenth holiday, June 19th, is coming up. And let's see, we did, let me look at some other notes here. We did sell some water to the county in May to the tune of 1,508,562 gallons. So that was nice. We are and have been working with Central Shenandoah Planning District Commission to update the hazard mitigation plan. So there will be something specific to date forthcoming at a future work session to discuss. And let's see. Year end is possibly looking very good, knock on wood. In all likelihood, if everything maintains status quo, we will not need a budget amendment this FY25 year. So that hasn't happened in a while. So we're very excited about that. So that's a good thing. But that is all I have. Well, one more thing. I've got, I left out the most important thing, really. I would just like to say a few words. I know, Susan, this is your last meeting. We'll miss you. But on behalf of town staff and the management team, I just want to extend our sincere thanks to Councilmember Susan Mathias for her dedicated service to our community. Your thoughtful leadership and commitment to public service have made a lasting impact. We wish you the very best in your continued educational journey and future endeavors. So good luck on that. I know it's going to be work, but you'll
Call us all for graduation. I will come scream very loudly.
You'll be very successful.
You.
Thank you for your support, and thank you because you were on council that brought me here. So thank you for the opportunity to be here in Dayton. That's all I have. I can't believe I missed that.
important.
Keep trying. We're glad you're here.
Oh, you didn't know? We don't need.
Never mind.
You got a fire somewhere close.
Yeah.
No, that's right. But Mr. Yeah, Chief, opportunity to present some good news though. You had some new personnel items here. Personnel news that share with the. Fantastic. And promotion of Officer Erman to yeah. Yeah. Fantastic.
This information that you can share with us. All this is not very good. Okay, and it would be the newsletter that when I know. Okay. Everybody's favorite.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I hope I can. Yes,
TJ, is they just
good.
donut eating them loose?
Great. Well, congratulations and glad to have a full staff there at PD and that's great for Officer Erman getting promoted as lieutenant. Well deserved. You can go back down to 50 hours. Yeah.
5, 6. Over this big.
Mr. Bowman? Anything else?
No report other than to say thank you for your, all the time.
Thank you.
We did not meet since we have a budget, so there you go. That's a budget at CIP adopted, and I know our finance director is excited, and we'll be closing out fiscal. So I'm sure is everyone joining us for fiscal New Year on July 1st? Can we have a countdown, a ball or something? You know, all right, we'll start that. Maybe that'll be the new town event. Okay. But no, nothing to report on finance there. The only thing I'll just note is just again, Susan, I'm not going to blame. Yeah, for once I'll actually be brief. So, which you may not have seen too much in your time here, but 4 years though of service is something that I mean that's it. Service runs in your blood. It runs in your veins. I mean, you know, serving your country, continuing to serve in your town, you know, and in the community. And, you know, before that, I mean, my goodness, poll worker here in town. I mean, what better way, you know, and, yeah, if you can go back to that, yeah. Yeah, but you know, we've got vacancies here too. If we can get you on, you know, BZA or economic development, okay, just consider, but no, just sincerely, you have done a lot here and I don't think everyone realizes too, not only just, you know, you get to see us once a month out here at the, you know, for the decisions, but a lot of that has gone behind the scenes where, you know, Susan's really brought her expertise and professionalism. That's it. Expertise, passion, professionalism. I thank you. You've got it in spades. I know you're going to do well in your future endeavors. I'm just sorry it won't be here on this side of the dais, but thank you sincerely, Susan. It's been a pleasure being a colleague.
And Elizabeth last week.
We did not have new personnel. We did this month. I'd like to see if we can have a brief one just to. You're technically W. Yeah, I joined, I first was appointed and applied. And it's because I'm really involved in the community because I'm married in the Dayton. A lot of people sometimes that have been here or friends, they'll be like, you know, so-and-so, you know, that I was like, I didn't think about peers, and no, I don't remember that. But so I wanted to get involved, and then I also wanted to just learn. I'm a lifelong learner, and I wanted to learn all of the ins and outs of government, and I've learned sewer systems work and all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, just to learn the ins and outs, the economic development, everything. So I have learned a lot. I think I have accomplished what I set out to do. Sure. I need to ask for it. I would say they want to be here. I need to run some tickets. Yeah. Get to the end of that. We'll fit in one more thing.
I'll send something out.
You know, I may have some projects in that NBA that I may not. Or project.
Does any other councilman have comments?
Yes, I have a comment, Mayor Lee. I just want to say also on behalf of my work with Susan on the Personnel Committee and her serving as chair, as well as our colleague. Thank you so much for your leadership, for your wisdom and guidance. I again agree with many of the comments that are already made, but it was a pleasure and honor to work closely with you on the committee, and your professionalism really exceeded our work. And so thank you so much. Also, as a fellow alumni of EMU, as well, congratulations on your educational endeavors, and you absolutely do an excellent job. Congratulations, and thank you so much for working with me on this.
This time, we will, close session as authorized, section 2-37. Discussion of consideration and it's authorized by the for discussion, consideration, disposition of discussion and for a strategy of town, such as policy development. Possibly franchise and closed session is all announced by the section 2.237.
I think we got everything. I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion based on those two, for those two specified reasons. I feel with closed session.
Second. Second, let's go.
Consensus?
Yeah.
All in favor?
All right.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are now in closed session.
It's okay if I come.
We have to get Jay-Z a personalized coffee maker, right?
Oh, wow. I would not be able to sleep.
Hot all day. Yeah.
I'm allergic.
I can't sleep as it is, but that would just set me.
I didn't see it. But
Man, caffeine.
in your headlights about to.
I like it in the morning.
Yeah,
But I gotta.
Jay, you thirsty? You sleepy?
Nope.
So it's not anymore. I'm gonna get you some coffee, Little Italy, the owner of Little Italy, he is from El Salvador and he runs a coffee plantation. So he just came back from his country. and
Well,
he's got
Mr.
these
Flores
bags of
does
coffee
too.
in there.
All right,
It's really good. I don't drink coffee, but if you drink coffee, I highly recommend it.
So Dave says the fire may be at the co-op up the road. I wonder if he's talking about Dayton Market.
What?
Feed me.
Oh, the feed mill. Yeah,
Feed mill.
it's at the co-op, yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, dust fires are bad.
That's gonna flame for, oh man. I wanna go watch.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Is it on now? It
Is
is.
it on?
There it is. So I need a motion to adjourn the closed session.
So moved.
Miss Estes, and I need a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
I.
All opposed? All right, motion passes. We are out of closed session. With respect to the just concluded closed session, and to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requires under the Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened, were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by council. And Ms. Hall, well, I think we need a roll call.
You got it right that time.
Did I get it right that
You
time?
did.
Okay,
The name.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Mr.
getting better.
Yeah, Mr. Sager.
Hey, aye. Hey, aye, yes.
Any of that will work. Ms. Cadell.
I.
Bias left and Mr. Hensley.
Aye.
Ms. Estes.
Uh,
Mr. Dijak.
Aye.
And Mayor Lee.
Aye. And for the adjournment, I need a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
so moved.
Ms. Estes, do I
Second,
have a second?
second.
Ms. Pennell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I ain't like this.
This meeting is adjourned at 7:37.
All right, driving crazy.
Was there pizza for tonight?
Wait.